Gunnar, called Guns. I'm from Iceland, and I love drumming. It's my disease. I have to drum every day, otherwise I want to throw myself off a balcony. The reason I'm here is because I'm jamming with these fucking motherfuckers. The old drummer won the Chinese lottery. He's really rich now, and he wants to concentrate on his family and do some other business. It's innovative, it's powerful, it's melodic, and I think people will like it. But of course, with new people, new emphasizes, it will always change a little bit. Just, you know, when the right spices are in the recipe, you know, the cake would be awesome. I'm coming from Iceland all the way here to Guangzhou to sell fish, and now I'm doing original music. I really love it. Well, I started in classical music, and I played. I was a stand-in man for all kinds of symphonic orchestra projects in Iceland. I played as a percussionist with choirs. I played jazz music for 10 years, and only jazz and fusion music. I was in a reggae band, I was in a pop band. But the last 7 years before I came here, I did productions for other bands. I played as a percussionist in studios, and also playing with my band, the Bermudas, which is now in Iceland. All these guys are there, and then maybe in the future we can play together later. But that's mostly, I spent most of my 7 years doing the project with this band, Bermuda. We had our own studio, and but I've done all styles of music. But I've always wanted to be in a band like this.
It's better. 'Cause now I'm free and I'm living on my own. Och in i mer sol, så tänkte sky. Im skip saga länge heavy. Länge med. Skilla både ner.
Yes, I can tell you one story, you know. In the south part of Iceland, called Westman Islands, and I was supposed to be in a gig there on a Friday night. It was supposed to start at 11:30, and I was working in the northern part of the country, and I had booked like chartered flight to Reykjavik from that place. That flight is like 1 hour, but I was like 1.5 hours away from that place in the north. So I rent a car, and I left that place around 3 in the middle of the day, drove to the airport up north. In that rental car, I probably broke all speed limits. You know, it was a small Volkswagen Polo that I drove like 180 kilometers per hour on a road that was only made for like 80 kilometers per hour. I was fucking crazy. And at the same time, I called my friend in Reykjavik, which is a private pilot and has a private plane, and asked him to be ready on the airport when I came there. So when I came to Reykjavik, he was waiting in his BMW at the airport, and we went to his BMW, and he drove me to a nearby airport where his plane was. And when we were coming there, like 500 meters away from the airport, the car broke down. And he said, we just have to run. We were already running late, it was getting dark. We ran to the airport, and we went to the airport, and he went into the radio, and he said, bad news, they have closed the airport in Westman Islands because of wind. And he looked at me, he said, are you up to it? And he said, yeah, we never heard this. So we went in the airplane. We came to Westman Islands. The weather was fucking crazy, and this small, you know, 2-seat airplanes. It was fucking madness when I think about it.
What'd
Yeah,
you
the
do
plane
then?
fell down like 50 meters. So we bumped the ceiling of the plane, and he was like, was trying to get the plane up, and we got up on the airport, and there was so much wind that it was like this. It was just licking the airfield. But he made it to the airport, and he was landing like this, you know. When we came to the airport, we saw the police cars, the fire squad was waiting there. And he said, "Man, you have to jump out of the plane because I'm not gonna meet these guys." I said, "No, just go to the station, you know, and I'll jump out." And I jumped out of the plane, ran to the fence. There was a fence there, and my friend was waiting there in his Volvo, and we drove as fast as possible down to the place. And I ran into the place. The guys were on the stage, and I sat down into my drums and then counted the first song.
So you made it.
I made it, but I had a small talk with the police, you know, after the gig. And the guy got some huge fine for doing this, and you know, and we almost went down, you know, outside the islands. That's the reason they don't close the airports. But we were young, and he's a pilot in Saudi Arabia now. Fucking rock and roll. It was madness.